Welcome to the Dow Market View for Thursday, the 14th of August. Of course, we're looking back to yesterday, Wednesday, the 13th of August. And you joined the activity just a little into the open here. And let me just explain what's happened so far. We've got a potential sell, triple X. This order wasn't filled. Immediately the market, when it opened, traded through the stop price, so this made the signal invalid. We then see this price bar coming off the high, followed by an inside bar, further potential weakness. We've also got resistance at the R1. This is confirmed where we see some selling coming into the market, which we can see here, and then we have further selling coming into the market immediately after, and then we see the market trying to find some support. And note in this area that the volume has dropped off, so the selling that was around has now disappeared. Also note to the left where the market stopped, always look to the left, and you will see there that the market has some support here as well. So let's just have a look at this signal here that's appeared. We've got triple X and a PTP. So why is it not marked up? Well, let me explain this by just going into the software and showing you the setting behind why this isn't a valid signal, even though it's marked up on the chart. So let me just go into the software. If you go to ToughXP Trade Markup, which can be found in ToughXP Indicators, which I'll just do for you, ToughXP Indicators Trade Markup, you will see only markup trades on bars with a range of no more than 20 pips. And this one, if I just switch back, happen to be 21. So this is why this trade is not showing the automatic markup if you had that on your chart. So this, even though it's marked up on the chart, it's marked up to give you the choice. If you wanted to take it, it's still marked up. But the automatic markup, if it's not automatically marked up, then it's not a valid signal. So in this case, we're going to ignore it because it's not automatically marked up. So let's move forward to see what the market did thereafter. We had a potential buy coming into the market. We also see the professional buying coming into the market after the market has been tested there. We have this BRN as well here, which is 6,600, which I missed off the original analysis when we were looking back to see what was happening. Of course, grey shaded areas are BRNs, big round numbers. And the market needs to get through this if it's to move higher and make the buy signal a valid one. So we see prices starting to move higher, trading just within a pip of the entry price there, struggling with the BRN at 16,600, and then you see the market offer a sell signal. So we've gone from a buy, which was failed to be filled, to a sell signal now that has been produced by the software. And again, you can see in this bar here, we've got some indecision in the market. There's quite a bit of volume there. Market's making no progress. And importantly, the market's come off the high, which we can see with the close. So there's definitely confirmation of some sort of weakness around. The market then moving lower, touching the stop loss for the buy, which now makes this an invalid signal, which is why it's turned grey, and the short, the entry price, has just been touched. Now watch this bar. This is a fascinating bar because you can see the market already coming off the lows and the volume increasing, and when you see this, it indicates that there's some sort of buying coming into the market. We get confirmation of selling at the entry price, but then we start to see the market turn around. And again, the volume's important here because you'll start to see the volume increase as the market is brought back. So this is what's known as a reversal pattern. So you've got this selling where the buying started to come in, which we saw in the price bar. It confirms as selling for the overall 5 minutes, but we saw how the market was oscillating up and down quite in a volatile way. And then prices reversing there on fairly high volumes, consistent with the previous bar, but not lighting up as green because it's the way the average lines actually moved with this huge amount of volume at the start of the session coming in. So it can be slightly ambiguous, I suppose. It looks like it shouldn't be. It should be indicated as a buying bar, which it should, because the volume is more or less the same as the previous bar. But because of the averaging over the last few bars, which are very high volume, it sort of gives the indication that it's a low volume, and it's not. So sometimes you just have to remove the average line from the analysis and look at the vertical length of the bar. So the market's now finding support again, and we see the market going back to the BRN. And what I've done here is the high of a selling bar is a crucial area, because this is where the market saw the original selling, which turned into buying. We know it must have turned into buying because the market's reversed or the selling disappeared. So I've put in a 0% extension across the high of this selling bar, because I want to see how well the market will actually take this out. And what was interesting is that the market kept trading around this price for several bars, and we then see the buy signal disappear, which is a shame, which we'll see in just a moment. It became an invalid signal because it wasn't filled within the 3 bars, and we're now seeing the market go through the high of the professional selling bar and also the BRN, and again the volume's increased, not highlighted with a green bar, but again you can see that we have got this increase in volume. So again, we're seeing the traders buying into the market, and then we see this trade stopped out for a 25 pip loss, which is unfortunate really, because we had the buy signal in this area here, which you can see with the grey shaded line, and that would have had us on the long side of the market, which no doubt you already know that prices moved higher during the majority of the session yesterday. Again, another buy signal. And this time again, what I've done is drawn across the high to the left. Now we're through the BRN. I'm just moving back, having a look at where the selling is, and I've also included it at 16,612, which is the high of this selling bar. And also, you'd see that I would use the other ones as the market moves higher as well. So the market holding above the BRN, it still needs to close above that resistance line that we've drawn in. Again, we see another buy signal disappear, which again is a shame. The market not actually hitting the entry price there. And then price is trading through the first resistance here at 1606, and then 612, and also through the previous day's, the R1, not the previous day's high. And there you can see now I've drawn in these other resistance areas, so I can see how the market tackles these. And I know that if the market is to move higher now, it's going to require some new professional buying coming into the market. And there we see the market driving through, and guess what? We get the new professional buying. The market didn't want to go down. It was self-evident at the time. But just following the signals through with the automated PTPs and triple X's on this occasion, the sell didn't materialize, and unfortunately, as a double whammy, we didn't get the prices filled, even though the market was playing with the 16,600 level, the BRN, for a long time. I just knew instinctively this market was going to move higher, and I was talking to Neil at the time, and I said it's going one way, and that's to the upside, because there is no force to the downside. There's just nothing to move the market. Plus we had the previous day's close here, which wasn't being attacked. So it's one of those unfortunate things. And then of course the volume situation on that reversal was enough. But as we go into more advanced stuff in the coming weeks and whatever, I'll show you how you can drill down into smaller time frames, see what's going on in this, mitigate the loss, reverse the position, and do all sorts of other magical things as well. So, you know, all is not lost. What we're looking at here is just the automated signals, which have been performing brilliantly for the last 6 to 8 weeks. And of course, now we've made it available, the market has gone fairly quiet. So apart from this move back to the upside yesterday, but the previous 2 days fairly quiet. So hopefully things are starting to move around a bit more once more. So the next target is going to be the 16,650. That's the next BRN. And no doubt the market at the time would make a run for it, and that's precisely what it's done. The market also trades to the R2, and then gets into a bit of a sideways move, which I'm going to speed through now because that's how most of the afternoon was, as the market just sat above the BRN there of 650. See the market coming through and testing. I'm just going to go further forward because I noticed the colour of this bar is actually the wrong colour. It should be blue. For some unknown reason, it had defaulted back to green. So I'm just going to speed through that. I've actually drawn on the low of this bar, and that is crucial, as we've already seen before, that the low of a test bar really doesn't want to be taken out, because if the testing of the market is valid, then the market should be free to move back to the upside, which it starts to do there. But of course, we're in late afternoon. You can see the drop off in volume. You can also see that I've now changed the test bars, the colour, to blue, which is what it should be. And there you see some buying coming in after the testing, which is perfectly normal. That's what you want to see. The market gets tested. There's no selling around, so the market's driven then back through the BRN there, which is why, again, you're seeing that green bar there. It takes a bit more energy to drive through. Market sits on this as, again, we go into the early part of the session, around 6:30 now. A bit later, heading towards 7 p.m. And it was a bit more movement to the downside, right back to the previous low of the test bar there. So again, no surprise there to see the market finding support. Straight reversal off, more volume in the green bar than the red bar. So whatever the selling was, they didn't want the market to go down. There's a tip for you. Keep that in mind as we go forward, that the market didn't want to go down. They've tested at this level, retested at this level, and they've tried to sell to this level, only to find that the market reverses and is bought back by the pros. Again, we come back to it. It's again tested again. So immediately, you should be aware of the nuances here. That and you start looking at a bar by bar as opposed to a bigger picture. You look at the bigger picture first, then drill down into the smaller detail. And you can see there that, again, we're testing. So, again, you should be alerted to the fact that any potential short is likely to fail, because the market keeps being bought back at 16,637. So as we head towards the final parts of the session, again, you can see the market coming back to this level, finding support. We have a potential buy signal followed by a sell. Why the sell signal is not really worth taking? Two reasons. One, I've just highlighted all of these other pertinent points where the market's retesting, and two, we're into the last half hour of the trading session, which statistically is not a good time to actually trade. So there we see a bit more potential weakness. The market starts to move higher. The sell signal becomes invalid as the market again once more starts to move higher. And now we're so close to the end of the session that the sell signal isn't really worth taking, even though the market moves lower there and actually fills it. But something slightly odd there, actually. I've just noticed that this trade wasn't marked up because it's outside of the trading time that we have set, so that's why even though it's filled. But like I say, it's what I said ahead of it actually appearing there, that there's no point in trading in the last half an hour, because generally 9 times out of 10 the market does nothing. And there you see the same thing there of it moving back and then also failing to. So the last hour, really not worth trading or looking at these trades. So a disappointing day in the Dow, because even though instinctively knowing it wanted to go up, providing the 3 teaser signals, I suppose, really, the market giving these, but not filling them in time, which is a shame, because we had a 50-point plus move to the upside up to the 16,650 area before the market ran out of steam for the remainder of the session. So just a shame there. Nothing we can do about that. That's the way it was. Right, well, that's it from me. As ever, thanks for watching, also for your support. And until the next time, all the best in trading the Dow. Let's hope today is a far better day.